a lower back program. It really is quite therapeutic for your knees as well, and of course for your hips. So our opening pose is going to be legs up the wall. Doesn't have to be a wall, it can be a door, it could be a wardrobe, it could be the back of a chair, just a position where your bottom is close, and then you spin yourself around and you put the legs up the wall. Now, some of you are going to need some support underneath your head. And that's because of your neck and alignment. So we do want to take care of your neck as well. So come on in, Lynn. Good. Perfect. Great. So if you're lying down, you're at the wall, towel underneath your head if your head is hanging back. And then close your eyes, please. Resting the tongue into the bottom of your mouth. And let your jaw hang loose. Take the expression out of your face. And just breathe in and out through the nose as we begin to settle in the pose. Feel the back of your arms and the shoulders on the floor. Feel the back of the spine supported by the floor. And feel the back of the buttocks. Heavy on the ground. We're going to take a few moments here to bring ourselves to ourself. Often our energy rises and we live in our head. We live in our thoughts, and we live in the stimulation of the world and the news and other people's energies. The practice of yoga is to help us connect to ourself, where we can be free of ego. We can be free of judgment. We can be free of self-sabotage. It's a beautiful place to hang out. And it's where your inner strength can flourish to guide you through the world. So as we inhale and exhale through our nose, we are reminding ourselves of the life that flows through us. Being grateful for the breath. So as you inhale and exhale, in the mind's eye, we say, I am grateful for my breath. I am grateful for my breath. Two more times. And as you exhale, relax the back of your eyes. Relax the back of your eyes and let the brain settle. As we inhale through the nose, feel the rise of your chest. Feel the energy and the power within you. And expand that chest. Grow your potential. Empower your soul. 3 more breaths. Feel the size and the rise of the chest. Allowing the breath to be bigger than the thoughts. Allowing the chest to open and remind you how powerful you are. Now today we're going to focus on a back care program. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to bend the arms and we're going to ask the arms to fall back into Cowboy Surrender. Now your hands might not touch the floor, hopefully your elbows do. You can take the arms a little bit wider. And as we bring the arms into this Cowboy Surrender, we're helping the upper back. Helping the upper back flatten. And at the same time, we're lengthening the chest and helping with shoulder mobility. Now, can you relax your fingers and relax your hands? Enjoy the weight of the arms as the chest muscle relaxes a little bit more, having a positive impact on your upper back posture. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can leave your arms where they are. If you've had enough, bring them down by your side. And now, if you can, open your legs. That might be determined by how much space you have around you. We're just opening the legs to open the hips. And if you don't have a lot of wall space, instead of opening the legs with the legs straight, you can bend your knees, bring your soles of your feet together, and just do the butterfly. So 2 positions depending on the space. If you can open your legs wide, open your legs wide. If not, soles of the feet together, slide your feet down the wall and do the butterfly. As we begin to open the hips. The best thing you can do for the health of your spine is to keep your hips and your shoulders mobile. When you have limited mobility or any restrictions in your shoulders, you force the upper back to take more load, and usually that changes your posture. If you have any restrictions in your hips, you force the lower back to take the load, and that usually results in an injury. So keeping the hips and the shoulders mobile is one of the best things you can do for the health of your lower back. Just a couple more breaths here, enjoying that open groin. And then bring the legs back up to the center, please. Bring your arms back down by your side. Bend your knees. Roll to the right hand side. And bring yourself slowly up. Take your time coming up, because sometimes you can feel a bit dizzy, because you have been in an inversion, which is fabulous for your lower back and your heart and your blood flow. I'm going to start with a small twist at the wall or the cupboard, wherever you are. We won't be spending the whole time there, so please don't worry. But I need you to take your folded towels. Fold them up quite thick, just making a nice rectangular shape, and place them at the wall, the cupboard, the door, whatever you're using. Just place your folded towels at that wall. And then you're going to kneel side onto the wall. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop your hips down so that your bottom sits on top of your blankets or your towels, whatever you're using. So my arm's pretty close to the wall here. So just go through that again. You've got your folded towels close to the wall. You kneel in front of them. So your knees are in front of them. I've got my ankles level with the towels. And then I sit down my hips towards the wall. So I actually sit on top of the towel. Just my one buttock. My other buttock is kind of hanging off, which is great. Then I'm going to try and square my knees so my knees are forward. I'm still side onto the wall. My shoulder is touching the wall. I'm going to take the arm that's touching the wall. I'm going to reach behind me. And then I'm going to sit up, lengthen, pull the belly in, and I'm going to turn towards the wall, and I'm going to put one hand on the wall. The back hand can reach out to wherever is comfortable. But can you check in with that back shoulder? I need your back shoulder to drop away from your ears a little bit. Now sit into your bottom and just use the wall to help twist you to face the wall. Just trying to start with a twist. Just drop your outside hip down. And then inhale, lower your back hand down and slowly untwist. This is Bharavajasana, a seating, kneeling twist. We're going to face the other side. So come on up, turn around, your blankets can stay where they are. Kneel, side on. You got your knees in front of your towels. The towels are lining up with your shins and your ankles. You drop your bottom down towards the wall so you can have your bum on the towels. Your knees are facing straight ahead. You side onto the wall. That shoulder is close to the wall. And then you're going to sit down and sit up tall. So the buttocks sit down and the spine lifts tall. Then the bottom arm reaches back. We're going to turn the body and we're going to turn the body towards the wall. Can you sit into your outside hip, please? So you're not leaning into the wall. Just turn towards the wall. Don't lean into it. Have that weight in the outside hip. Nice and tall. You can lift the back arm. You can lower it, whichever works. Just try and press that back hand slowly into the wall to help you twist a little bit more. Nice stretch around the middle back. And then inhale, and as you exhale, slowly untwist. Super. Coming to your mat now with your strap. If you've still got your socks on, it's time to take them off. And then lie on your back with your strap. We're going for the Padangusthasana series. Fabulous series for your lower back. So lying on your back, knees are bent, please. Whenever we lie on the back, if your head and your chin is a little bit higher than your forehead, we recommend that you have a towel underneath your head because we're always trying to protect the neutral position of your neck. Right leg in, please. Strap across the back of your right heel. You're going to straighten out your right leg straight away. You just straighten it out. Straighten it though. Open out the back of the knee. Make sure the back of the knee is open. Lift up through the back of the heel. Pull the toes down. Spread out your toes. Now press the back of your pelvis into the floor. So keep the back of the pelvis into the floor, and you're just trying to ease that right leg in. As you ease that right leg in, we're keeping the back of the pelvis down. We're keeping the back of the knee open. We're lifting up through the back of the heel. And when you're working with your hamstrings, they really are quite gnarly. So it is important that you find about 80% in the pose. Please don't go to 100% because then you might be over gripping. So find a place in the pose that's, it's good. You're very aware of it, but you're not biting your tongue. Good. Now, keeping the legs straight, bring the strap into your right hand. Put your left arm out to the side. Good. Now press down into your left foot. Keep that left knee bent. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the muscles of that straight leg into the bones and take the right leg away from your body. Open your hip. As you take that leg away, you've got some firmness in your left foot. Left shoulder on the ground. Now reach into that right heel. Lengthen, reach. Inner heel, reaching away. Hip opening. Feeling that fabulous release in the front of that hip. Keep that left buttock down. And then bring that leg to the center, please. Left hand on the strap. Right arm and shoulder on the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull that leg all the way across. As you pull it across, the hip lifts up. The shoulder, though, stays down. So your right shoulder is down. Now, please don't relax that right leg. Reach into the heel. Establish a connection. Squeezing the muscles into the bones. And the premise of our yoga asanas is to build strength and vitality. So there is a form of active stretching. We don't completely let go. The right shoulder can be heavy and relaxed. The spine is sinking into the pose, but the right leg is active. And then release, bring that leg all the way back up to the center. Bend your knee, remove the strap. Left side, please. Left leg in. Place the strap across the back of the heel and then straighten out. Find that lovely stretch down that whole leg from the ankle all the way down to the hip. Press the left pelvis down, buttocks down. Have the legs straight. So some of you might need to take it further away to get the legs straight, but you do need it straight. Lift up through the heel, pull the toes down. Say, I love my hamstrings. As they say, good morning to you. Shoulders down. Try not to move your shoulders to your ears. Let's get your shoulders away. Pulling that leg into that nice 80% of the stretch, not 100. You don't want to over grip. Keeping the pelvis heavy on the floor. Now bring the strap into your left hand, please. Right shoulder out. Press into your right foot. Inhale. Exhale, take the left leg away from you. Reach that left leg. Squeeze the muscles of that left leg into your bones. A really solid leg. Open it out as far as you can. Keeping the right foot on the floor. Right shoulder on the floor. Opening that inner groin. Good. And then inhale, bring it all the way back to the center. Right hand on the strap, please. Left hand on the floor. Deep breath in. As you exhale, pull that leg all the way across the body. All the way across. Shoulder down. Leg nice and straight. Reach, reach, reach into that heel bone. You're going to feel that release through the outer hip, the outer thigh, the IT band. Fabulous rotation in the lower back. Shoulders down on the floor. I love the Padangusthasana series. It's a fabulous collection of poses. And Padangusthasana, that's Sanskrit. It just means hand to big toe. Because traditionally, you're holding onto your big toe with a straight leg. But of course, in the Iyengar method of yoga, we use our props so the pose can be amazing for the individual. And then inhale, bring that leg all the way back up to the center. Bend the knee, remove the strap. Take your feet as wide as your yoga mat, please. And I'm just going to get you to rock your right inner thigh down towards the floor and hold it there. So as you drop your right inner leg down, you're on the knife edge of your right foot. And I'm just getting into internal hip rotation. Fabulous for the health of your lower back. You can let that right thigh go a little bit heavy. So you should feel this stretch, I want to say around the real crest of the hip. So you feel it deep in there. And then bring that leg up to the center. Same thing on the other side. You roll onto the knife edge of your foot and you drop the left inner thigh down towards the floor. You let it hang there. You let it go heavy until it creates a fabulous sensation through your hip, outer thigh area, right into the crest on that front of that hip bone. Should feel a nice collection of things. You might even feel it rolling down into your thigh. That's normal too. You do get a nice paraspinal release. Stay there. What's going on here? Just got a notification. That's good. Okay. And then release. Bring the knees back up to the center. Now for this position, just hug your knees in towards your chest. Separate your knees. Separate the knees. Good. Hold that there. And just hold behind the thighs, allowing the lower back to settle. Good. And then put your feet back down on the floor. Take your knees out to the side, take your arms out to the side, sorry. And just drop your knees over to the right, just a little rotation here. Let your knees just flop to the right, let the shoulders go down. Just enjoy that rotation in the lower back. And then come up to the center and go to the other side. Drop the knees to the other side. Just releasing that lower back, just a small release here. Super. Now roll to the right side, bring yourself up. We have to stretch out your hips because your hips are an integral part of your lower back. So we're going to take a folded towel and we're going to kneel upon it. We're going to take the right leg forward. We're going to bring ourselves into that lovely proposal position. We do it frequently. Now press down into that right foot, grip on the bottom, pressing your hips forward towards the top of your mat. You can just lean the torso back. Shoulders are down and away from your ears, please. And I'm just starting to feel a stretch at the top of the left thigh into the left hip. The psoas muscle, which attaches on your lower back. So it's important to stretch it every day. Change that over. Step your left leg forward. So from kneeling, left leg goes forward. High lunge, proposal position. Grip your bottom, press your hips forward and just lean your torso back a little bit. Yes, good. Keep in there, shoulders are down. Fabulous. And then release, go back to kneeling. And we switch over again. Right leg is forward. This time, can you lengthen the stride? So instead of being in the proposal position, take the foot further forward so that now you lengthen the stride and your back hip goes a little bit lower. Now this is quite active, so my recommendation is you put your hands down on the floor. But the floor might seem a long way away for some of you, so you would put your hands maybe on your folded towel, maybe on a brick, maybe on a book, just so that you can soften your hip into it. So you're stretching now, same muscle, hip flexor, but we've changed the angle of the stretch. So you're going to feel this low in your hip, so into your thigh here. Good. And then from this position, we're going to take the right hand onto the lower back, and we're just going to turn the body towards the bent knee. And it's just the hip and a little bit of the waist that turns. But if you can please press into your front foot, that's just going to stabilize you. Good. And then come back to the center. And let's change over. So from kneeling, we take the left leg forward. It's a little bit of a longer stride, taking us a little bit closer towards the floor. We drop the hands down onto maybe your folded towel or the floor. And what you're looking for is you don't want to look like this. You want to have your hands on something that's going to help you keep the length or the flatness of the upper back. Good. And press down into your left foot. Please keep that foot nice and firm. Super. And then from here, push into the front foot, bring yourself back, and we're going down flat on the floor right now. So just clear your mats and let's go flat on the floor. And we're going to do the spine strengthening exercises. So flat on the floor, Arms down by your side, palms facing up, look down at the floor. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze on your bottom. Feel the front of your hips pressing into the floor, and lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Now look down at the floor so you're not compressing the neck. Now your hands are on the floor at the moment. Your shoulders are off the floor. You're squeezing on your bottom. Now press your hands into the floor and lift your legs up. Press your hands into the floor. So your back of your hands gently press into the floor so you can try and lift your legs up off the floor. Keep looking down. Keep looking down. And release and lower down. And we're going to try that again. This is Salabhasana. So we squeeze on the bottom, which helps to stabilize the pelvis. This is how we keep the back extensions safe. Squeeze the bottom. Lift your chest, lift your shoulders off the floor. We've got your hands on the floor. Look down at the floor so the back of the neck is long. We're building stamina and strength in the muscles that run down the spine as we try and bring ourselves into this extension. This is really good for nourishing the discs of the spine. Press the hands down into the floor, and if you can, lift your legs off the floor. Squeeze the leg muscles into the bones. Grip, lift. Front of the pelvis in the floor. Can you get your knees off the floor? Can you get your thighs off the floor? And then release and lower down. Now bring your arms to the side of your body and bring your elbows on the floor. And your elbows are lined up with your chest, and your fingers, they're lined up with your head. Now press your elbows into the floor, and as you press the elbows into the floor, can you move your shoulders away from your neck? Grip your bottom and lift the chest and look forward. So elbows pressing into the floor. Buttocks engaged, back of the neck long. Good. Keep the elbows pressing down, shoulders down away from your ears. Bhujangasana. And as we move into this pose, it's so therapeutic for your back. And I know you might feel a bit stiff, you might feel resistance in this position. And that's mainly because our spine is always folded forward. So it's very stiff when we try and bring it into extension. It's not bad for you, I promise you. We use it all the time when we're rehabbing back injuries. Keep the bottom tight, keep the elbows pressing down, get your shoulders away from your ears, holding this extension. And then release and come down. I know the back's going to feel a little bit stiff. Resist the urge to fold forward. I want to keep working with the extension and the length that we are now creating. So from this position here, I'm going to get you to come up onto your hands and your knees. Stay where you are. Sorry, we just had somebody who lost connection and then had to rejoin, so let them in. Okay, so from your knees now, resist the urge to fold forward because we're working on that lovely extension. So I want you to be kneeling, and if you're not comfortable on the floor, please kneel on your blankets. Put your hands so your fingers point down towards your knees and you're gripping your lovely buttocks. Now look at your upper body. Can you get your shoulders away from your ears? Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Tighten your buttocks. Press your hips forward and just let the body lean back a little bit. Grip the buttocks. Press your hips forward. Squeeze your shoulders together. Ustrasana, the camel pose. Grip the buttocks, press your hips forward, shoulder blades together, and release and come up. We're going to do that one more time. It's just a modified version of it with the hands up here. So same thing again. Grip the bottom, press the hips forward, slide your shoulders away from your ears and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Press your hips forward. You might be able to walk your hands down the back of your legs. Keep squeezing the shoulders towards each other. Grip the bottom. Press your hips forward. Good. Keep the grip in the bottom. And then release and come up. Resist the urge to round forward. Not yet. We're not done. Almost. Now we have to change position and we have to lie on the back. So lie down on the back. Next we're going to do a setu bandha, a bridge pose. Still form of back extension. Okay, feet hip distance apart. Press the feet down into the floor. Squeeze on the bottom and lift your hips up. Press your feet down. Squeeze your bottom, lift your hips up. Now try and get your hands onto your bottom and your pelvis. So your thumbs, they reach towards each other, and your fingers, they kind of cut around the outside of your hips. And your elbows want to come in a little bit. Squeeze your bottom, lift your hips up. And your breastbone, that should be moving towards your face. Back of the neck long, press the back of your shoulders down into the floor. And if you can't get your hands to cup around and your bottom's a little bit lower, that's okay. Find your position. Try and get your hips up as high as you can. These are active back bends or contraction back bends. Press into your heels, squeeze your bottom. Breastbone moving towards your face. Keep the glutes engaged. And release and lower all the way down. Now I know your back's going to feel stiff. Don't worry about that. We're going to finish it off. Okay, now from this position, take your right leg out straight along the mat. Keep the left leg bent. Lift the left leg up. Right hand on the outside of the left thigh. Left arm out to the side, palm faces up. Pull that left leg across the body now into a nice rotation. Just pulling that left leg across, keeping that left shoulder down. Let the left shoulder be heavy. Couple more breaths here. And then release and bring yourself all the way to the center, both knees bent. Left leg straight. Lift the right leg up. Pull it all the way across the body. Keep the right shoulder down on the floor. Breathe. It's a nice rotation for the spine there. Good. And then release, bring yourself back up to the center. Roll to your right. Coming up onto your hands and your knees. Then we're just going to do another rotation. This time we're from all fours. We lift the right arm up. And we reach it all the way through. And as you reach it through, reach out on a nice straight line. So reach across to the side of the room. Reach, reach, reach. Bring the shoulder towards the floor. And then press the hips towards the right. Now, if your shoulder doesn't quite reach the floor, take one of your blankets, and then as you rotate, you put your shoulder down on the blanket instead. Now keep pressing the hips towards the right. Feeling that nice release in the spine. And then come up to the center. Lift your left. Thread it all the way through. Reach out, nice straight line. Reach, reach, reach. Shoulder down on the floor, all your blanket. Head down on the floor, press the hips towards the left. Feel that lovely rotation. And then release, bringing yourself up. Okay, next one we do in our back care program is Pigeon Pose. Now for many people, the thought of Pigeon Pose is just scary and beyond them because they worry about their knee. If we do Pigeon Pose properly with the use of props, there should be no pressure in the knee. I'm going to give options. I'm going to do it very quickly just to show you, then you can pick your option. Pigeon Pose looks like this. One leg forward, one leg back. Most people don't like it because they feel pressure in the front knee, but that's usually because they've got no support under the bottom. If you're not going to try Pigeon Pose, then your option will be to do number 4. So your legs make a number 4 shape. And you do that instead lying down on the floor. If you're going to try Pigeon Pose with me. From a kneeling position, take your folded towels to your right hand side. Take both of them. Chances are you'll need them. Then from right leg goes forward, please. You move the heel away from your groin. You stretch your left leg back. And you only need one, but you might need 2. And you just bring it underneath your right buttock. Now, to your right hip. So you got to press your right thigh towards the floor, and when you press your left thigh towards the floor, if your right hip comes up, place more, double fold your blanket, get that support underneath that right buttock. Hopefully you're all so far so good. Now we're going to start in an upright position, shoulders away from your ears. And if you're not doing Pigeon Pose with me, but you're doing the number 4, just stay on your right. You're just having a nice long hold. Shoulders down the back body. Left hip pressing towards the floor. Nice square shoulders. And then from here, you just take the body forward onto your elbows. And now you're just feeling that stretch across that right buttock and outer hip. There should be no discomfort in the knee. If there's discomfort in the knee, it's coming from the hip, and it usually means we just have to put a little bit more support under your buttock. Couple more breaths like this, please. And then release, tuck the back toes under, and bring yourself back to all 4s. If you use the support on one side, you'll need it on the other, so please take that to the other side. Take your left leg, slide it forward, move the heel away from the groin, stretch the right leg back, and just bring that support underneath that left buttock. And then you don't want to sit like this, where you're just heavy on your left hip. You've got to try and get your right thigh down to face the floor. And that usually means you just need more height underneath your left buttock. If you're lying on the floor doing number 4, please change your legs so you're doing the left now. Shoulders down away from your ears. Press your right hip towards the floor. Those of you in Pigeon Pose. And then come forward onto your elbows. Feeling the stretch across your left buttock and outer hip area. So when we're doing a back care program like we've done today, we do some rotations, we do some stretching and releasing of the hips, we do a little bit of releasing in the upper body, and we also do the strengthening exercises for the spine. So a fabulous back care program is to promote strong, healthy spines. And then release, tuck the back toes under, please. And then bring yourself back up. Lovely. And then we're going to lie over the towels. We're going to finish opening the chest. Because if I open your chest, it's going to flatten the shoulder blades. And as you flatten your shoulder blades, you help to keep the spine aligned. Now, you can take 1 or 2 folded towels. We're going to create a nice roll. So I just want a little bit of a higher roll. So today I'm going to use 3 towels because I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to roll them up so that my roll is higher. I've got a nice big sausage roll. I'm going to put that across the mat. Then I'm going to need something for my head, and I'm just going to use a yoga brick because I've got one close by, but you could use a 3rd towel. There is a space between the 2 props, and we're going to open that chest and shoulders. Fabulous, fabulous pose for your posture. So I've got shoulder blades on, armpits off, shoulders off, head on the support. Because I don't want the head to look like this, because we don't want all that compression on the neck. We want the neck in neutral. We want the arms to fall back in the space. And we want the shoulder blades to flatten. Releasing the upper back in this way is so therapeutic for the lower back. Spine is a definite chain reaction. By releasing the upper can impact the lower. So you want to feel those shoulder blades moving in towards the spine. As you inhale, feel the back of your ribs expand into your towel. And as you exhale, feel the shoulder blades soften in. Relax your fingers. Relax your hands. Just invite those shoulder blades to flatter. Taking out that rounded upper body posture. And correcting the alignment of the spine. Couple more breaths, please. Now bending the knees. Roll off your supports, roll to the right. You'll feel stiff in the upper back, that's okay. Bringing yourself slowly up. And now we finish where we started, with legs up the wall. So if you wish to put your socks back on, you want to make yourself a little bit cozier, feel free to do that. If you need a support for your head, then bring your blankets. And if you don't feel comfortable and you don't want to do your relaxation with the legs up the wall, then please choose something that's going to make you happy. You can maybe lie down on the floor, you can put your legs upon a chair, whatever makes you feel good. If you're comfortable, then we're going to take ourselves to the wall. I'm going to bring a blanket just to cover me once I get down there. Remember, you might need a little bit of something for your head. So, side onto the wall, I try and get as close to the wall as I possibly can. And then I spin myself around. And I kind of shimmy myself in until I can get my buttocks to touch the wall or the wardrobe or the door, wherever you are. And I'm just covering myself, get myself cozy. And then legs up the wall. Arms wherever you're comfortable. Make sure that the head is in neutral. So if your chin is up higher than your forehead, please can you put something under your head? And just rest those legs up the wall. And let your eyes close. And the tongue sit into the bottom of the mouth. As we invite our spine to settle. Let the back of the buttocks be heavy. And the back of the shoulders be heavy. And bask in the glory of the pose. This is Vipriti Karani, legs up the wall. It's an inversion and it's so good for you. It's bringing rest to the legs. It's bringing rest to the heart. Very good for stress and insomnia. And therapeutic for your lower back. As you inhale and exhale through the nose, let go of the tension in your hands. As you inhale and exhale through the nose, let go of the tension in the shoulders. Feel your shoulders heavy. Feel the shoulders heavy. Five more breaths. Now, as it's time to end, notice how you feel. Slowly bend your knees. Roll to the right hand side and just stay there for a moment as if you're curled up in bed. And then opening your eyes, pushing on your hand, bringing yourself up. Find a seated position, however you feel comfortable. Sit with length in the spine and join the palms together. From the exterior world, you bring your thumb to the heart center to find yourself. Your fingers are spread out to the world. Bow the head, surrender the ego. And as we take a moment to close our practice, we finish in this pose, which is also a greeting. With the thumb on the heart center, you are greeting yourself. The place of love, forgiveness, kindness. Unconditional, without judgment. As you spread your fingers to the world, you are honoring those that you meet and your place in this world. Remembering to walk with kindness and forgiveness. Namaste. Lift your head, open your eyes, place your hand. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed today's practice. I know it wasn't a vigorous thing, but it was a wonderful therapeutic practice for the health of your spine. So I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, do let me know in the chat. You're welcome to unmute yourself if you have a question, and I'll do my best to answer it. And I'll be here on Saturday at 11:30, so maybe I'll see you then. Just what you needed. Good, I'm glad. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Sydney. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Liz. Nice to see you. Oh, that's so great. Somebody else saying wonderful, just what they needed. Maybe you sent me your vibes. Maybe we're all needing a little bit of back love today and you sent me your vibes. So thank you. I'm glad it kind of worked out. Sometimes I get it right. So thank you. Glad you needed that. Thank you very much. Thanks, Karen. Glad you enjoyed it. So nice to see you all. Great. Most of the time we get it right. Well, thank you, Nicola. Great. Any other questions? Let me know. Feel free to unmute yourself if you've got something specific that I can try and help with. Otherwise, maybe I'll see you in practice on a Saturday. And maybe I'll see you in the club. I'm always in my office doing all my stuff. So wave at me if you venture into the club. But thank goodness, how wonderful that we did not have to step outside today. That was a gift. And this winter's going to be a great gift, having all these virtual classes. So when it's a snow day, we just stay inside and we still get to do yoga. All fabulous. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye. See you soon. Thank you.